Okay, looking at number 12, we have which function's graph has a vertex at 3 and 5 and contains a point 5 and 13. So what we have here is a quadratic function, but it's written in vertex form, which means if we take the vertex and match it up with the graph, then we should be able to find the answer. So our vertex would be 3 and 5. And if you remember, whenever we have it inside the parentheses, it has to be the opposite. So since it's positive, then we're going to have a negative 3 on the inside. And on the outside, we have a positive 5. So we would just write that. Now the only one that actually matches that, it's answer H. The rest don't have the correct vertex. Now if you needed to make sure, you can graph it into the calculator. And in the calculator, in the graphing, you would do menu, 5 for trace, and 1 for graph trace. And that way you could click through the graph and find that the vertex is at 3 and 5. So it should look like this, where the vertex is at positive 3 and 5. And if you needed to make sure, you could also see that the point 5 and 13 is also there, which is a point right here. Next, we're going to be looking at number 13, where it says what value of p makes the equation below true. So we're going to be solving this equation. And so what we have here, 4p minus 1 is equal to 5. Now remember that under the 5, we would have a 1. So what we need to do is cross multiply. So we have 19 times 1, which would give us 19. And then we have 4p minus 1, which is times 5. So we would multiply into both things. So 5 times 4p is 20p. And negative 1 times 5 is negative 5. And now we would solve this equation. So the first thing we want to do is move that 5. We would be adding 5 on both sides. That cancels out. 19 plus 5 is 24, equal to 20p. Next, we want to leave the p by itself, so we want to cancel 20 by dividing 20 on both sides. So the answer would be p equal to 24 divided by 20. So calculator 24 divided by 20, control enter to get a decimal, which is 1.2. Now this is going to be like a star, so you're going to have gridables. You have to put your answer in a decimal form, and you would put it into a gridable looking like this. So you would have positive 1.2. So positive 1.2.